Today we are going to solve another sum from inventory valuation. See, the question given to us is the stores ledger account from the following transactions. Issue of materials were as follows, and using the principle of FIFO and LIFO we have to prepare the stores ledger account. Okay. For checking, the answers are given so that we can check whether my answers are correct. Now see, the first is the date, the particulars are given, the unit and the price per unit. We are going to make the format for LIFO and FIFO. First we are going to start with FIFO. So we are going to write FIFO, and remember that the format will be the same for FIFO and LIFO. So we are going to make four main columns, a narrow one for date, and then we have got three broad columns for receipt, issue and balance, and some sub columns within them, that is quantity, unit cost and amount. So the first date is first, you can see opening balance is given, which means whatever opening balance is there. So we're going to write the date here. We're not going to write anything on the receipt or the balance part because it is neither a purchase nor an issue, so nothing will be written here. Rather, this balance will be written over here right away. Quantity is 500 and the unit cost being 4 rupees 4. Unit was 500. So we are going to write it over here. 500 into 4 is going to be 2000. So we're going to write it over here. Then after this we'll move to the next date. You can see over here issues are given. Okay. And the date of issues you're going to write with a blue color. Okay. So that we can understand the difference. Okay. Issue is on Jan 4. So and over here the purchase is on 5. So Jan 4 comes before. So on 4 we are going to issue 200 units. So on Jan 4 nothing is purchased, so nothing to be written over here. Rather, for issue we are going to write 200. We are following FIFO. There has been no recent purchase. We had 4 rupees lot of 500 quantity, so from here we are going to take this 200. So the price, the unit cost will be 4. 2 into 4 will be 8 and 100. Now the balance will be, you can see there will be no more 500 right now because 200 gone from this 500. So we're going to write 300 over here. And the price will be same, per unit price is 4. 3 into 4 will be 1200. Now we're going to move to the next date. Check the next date. Issued next date is Jan 10 and purchase next date is 5. So 5 comes before, so we have to go for the purchase. So red color for purchase. See, on 5th there has been a purchase of 200 units for 4.25. So Jan 5, 200 will be the units and 4.25 is my unit cost. Now what we're going to do is simply we are going to multiply, that is 200 into 4.25. Let's do it. It will be 200 into 4.25 comes to 850. So we're going to write it over here in amount 850. There has been no issue on this date, so nothing to write over here. Right now my balance will be increased by 200 more units for 4.25 and the amount being 850 after multiplying. After this is done, we are going to move to the next date. See, after 1, 4 and 5 we have got the next date. See, 12th here and 10 here. So that means 10 comes first. So for purchase, let's use, there's an issue of on Jan 10, 400 units. So Jan 10, 400 units. Issue, no purchases. So nothing to write in the purchase column. And in issue column, we are going to write 400 units. So you can see we are following Fifo, which means first in, first out. So this 400 will be taken from this lot first, and then the remaining 100 from this lot. There is, we need 400. We have got 300 of the previous lot. So this 300 will be gone, and the rest 100 will be taken from the 200 lot. So let's do it. We're going to split 400 into two parts. So we're going to write 400 into two parts. First part will be 300. The other part is 100. Both makes 400. Now 300 will be the 4 rupees lot, and 100 from the next lot of 4.25. Now we are going to multiply 3 into 4. It is 1200. So we're going to write it over here. Similarly, we are going to multiply 4.25 into 100. That comes to 425. After this is done, now we're going to write away the balance. This 300 is gone. From this 200, more 100 is gone. Okay, so only 100 is left. So we're going to write only this 100 of 4.25 lot left. An amount will be 100 into 4.25, that is 4.25. With this we are done for 10th. We are going to move to the next date. See, Jan 15 and the next date is 12 over here. So the purchase date 12. So we'll use red color for the purchase, as I told you. 12. There has been purchase for how many units? 150 units. So 150 units for 4.10. On 12th, there has been purchases. The unit for purchase is, units are 150 and 4.10. So 150, and unit per price is 4.10. So we're going to multiply 4.10 into 150. Once we do it, we get 615. So we're going to write it over here, 615. Nothing issued on that date, so nothing to be written on these three columns, and simply copy this in the balance column. 150, 0.10, and then multiply it, it will be 615. So we are done with 12th. Now we're going to move to the next date. See, we have got the next date, that is in the issue, that is on Jan 15, 100 units. So we're going to write it over here, Jan 15. Nothing is purchased. 100 units is issued. This we are following Fifo, so this 100 will be taken from the previous lot, that is 4.25. 100 into per unit will be 4.25. Multiply, we get 425. Therefore, simply you can see the previous lot is gone. This one, it is gone. And this will remain. So we're going to simply write it down on the balance column. That is 150 into 4.10 multiply it, we're going to get 615. Once this is done, we're going to move to the next date. 15th is gone. The next date that we have is, see, we have again got an issue on Jan 19 and purchase on Jan 20. So issue comes first, Jan 19, 100 units. So let's write Jan 19. There was issue, no purchases. So nothing to write here. Issue of 100 units. Now you see, we are left with this only of 150 units of 4.10. Therefore, we are going to write 4.10 over here. Multiply 100 into 4.10, that comes to 410. Therefore, we are only left with 50 units here because 100 gone from here. See, this 100 is taken from this 150, so only 50 remains, which we are writing here, into again 4.10. We are going to multiply 4.10 into 50. We get 205, so we are going to write it over here, 205. Next, with this we are done with Jan 19. We are going to move to the next date. See, issue date on Jan 26, and we've got a purchase date before that. So Jan 20 is our purchase date. So we're going to write that first, 300 units for 4.50. 20, the units is 300 units for 4.50. So let's write 300 units for 4.50. We are going to multiply it, that is 300 into 4.50, that comes to 1350, that we're going to write it over here. Multiply in the amount column. Nothing issued on that date, so simply nothing over here, and whatever we had written here will be copied in the balance column as well, this part. So 300 and the price being 4.50, multiply it, we get 1350. With this we are done with the date, that is 20th. We are going to move to the next date. You see, we've got next date 25. So 25th is the next date and the issue is on 26th Jan. So first we are going to enter this purchase of 400 for 4 rupees. 400 for 4 rupees. So Jan 25, 400 units for 4 rupees, which comes to 1600. Nothing issued on that date, so nothing to write over here. Simply copy what we had written before, that is 400 units for 4 rupees. That comes to 1600. Now you can see we are left with quite a lot of lots. See, we are left with these lots right now. That is, you see, this 50, 300 and 400. Now we'll move to the next date. All the purchases are done. Now we are only left with the issues. Next issue was on Jan 26 for 200 units. So let's write it. Jan 26 for 200 units. Nothing purchased. Issue is 200. Now let's see from where we are going to take up this 200. We are following Fifo, so we are going to take this 200 first from the first lot that we are left with, that is 50. And the rest 150 we are going to take from the next lot. So let's split this 200 into two parts, 50 and 150. That will be 200. So let's split it. We are going to write 50 and we are going to write 150. 50 of the previous lot, that is a 4.10 category, and the next one is of 4.50 category. The next one, you can see this one from here and the rest 150 from the next lot. this price written over here and this price written over here. Now we're going to simply multiply. So 50 into 4.10, it comes to 205. Let's write it over here. Similarly, 150 into 4.5. Let's do it. 150 into 4.5. It comes to 675. We're going to write it over here. Once that is done, see this 500 gone, and from this 300, 150 already gone. So from this lot we are only left with 150 units, and the whole this lot is left. So let's make the entries for it. So from the 300 lot, 150 remains for 4.50. Similarly, next lot 400 units for 4 rupees. This is entirely left. Just multiply it simply. 150 into 4.5. This comes to 675. So this is my remaining lot for now. Now let's move to the next date. That is, you can see on Jan 30, there has been a further issue of 250 units. So Jan 30, 250 units, further issue. Jan 30, no purchases, only issue for 250 units. Now this 250 will be first taken from the first lot, that is this 150 lot, and the rest 100 will be taken from the latest lot. So let's split it into two parts, 150 and the remaining 50. 150 and the remaining 100. 150 and the remaining 100 both together forms 250. 150 from the 4.50 lot, that is this, and the next from 4. So let's make the entries 4.50, and this will be from 4. So 100 into 4 comes to 400, and 150 into 4.5 comes to 675. Once we have made this entry, now let's see what we are left with. This entire lot is gone, and we are only left with 300 from here because 100 gone over here. So 300 remaining for 4 rupees. So let's make the entry 300 for 4 rupees. 3 into 4 becomes 1200. So you see, for the answer for Fifo will be, therefore inventory valuation will be, therefore we're going to write inventory valuation under Fifo will be is equal to 300 units for 4 rupees. So 300 units into 4, that is 1200. You see, answer already given, 300 units for rupees 1200. So we are done with it. In the next video, we are going to solve the same sum using LIFO method.